What up everybody, welcome back to Royal Blu FX. In today's video we're going to talk about what a true retracement and pullback and or structure is in the market. For those that are asking about our Royal Blu FX course, go ahead here at RoyalBluFX.com to join our online academy today. We have a really strong online community, so if you're not there, you're missing out. So I'm going to zip my lip and get on with the video.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up.
So what is a true retracement, pullback, and structure in the market? This one can be very confusing to a lot because a lot of people have a way to identify what a true pullback or retracement or structure is, but in our cases it's a little bit different, and I will show you what this looks like right now. So essentially, when you see, this is the bearish example here, when you're seeing price going to the bearish side like this, right? A lot of us can get confused with this little minuscule structure like this, right? Where it looks like a pullback, right? And we're then analyzing price, breaking structure like this, and we're thinking this is structure to us. This is the market going bearish, right, and respecting and breaking structure, right? But to us in this case, this is identified as just some sort of liquidity pool that's set by the market, right? It's not real true structure, it's really just liquidity, right? So we wouldn't call this a true pullback or a true retracement and or a structure in the market. We would just consider this a liquidity in the market, a liquidity pool in the market. So, and the reason why is because when a lot of you probably have actually seen where markets do this, right? And you get confused. So what we're doing is, what we're looking for in order for this to be a true pullback or a true retracement, the market has to retrace fully, taking out some sort of liquidity in order for it to be a true retracement or a pullback or structure, right? Part of structure, okay? So when you're looking at this here, we have a chalk here. Price is going from the high to the low, high to the low, high to the low, right? High to low, continuing like this, right? So you can see each pullback, even though we don't have, a lot of information here, a lot of detailed information here that to see where there's liquidity here. But when you see when price is retracing, you'll see most of the time that there's liquidity, internal liquidity inside every pullback and every retracement, right? We call this the pivot point, right? There's a pivot point happening at every retracement and pullback. Same thing goes for this. When price is extending, right, it has this huge retracement, right, taking out liquidity. You can see that there's a lot of liquidity, huge liquidity pool in there, and then price is fully retracing, showing us that pivot point, pivot zone, right, and then price is extending again. So this is how we can identify the highs and lows and structure of the market, of that true retracement or pullback in the markets. So continuing down here with this over here, you can see when price is going bearish again, right? What are we looking for? If price is doing something like this, what are we anticipating? Well, what we're anticipating is for the market to A, show us a true retracement by A, taking out liquidity, maybe double tops like this, right? Showing us that true pullback like this, right? And then showing us that extension again, to then showing us that pivot point, all right? And that's where that true structure lies. So you can easily, look at something like this and say that this is our high, this is our low, this is our high, this is our low now. And nothing in here is actually true structure in the market, right? Or a true pullback or a true retracement in the market. So that's what I really wanted to show you guys on this one. Let's go to the bullish side over here. Same thing goes for the bullish, right? Let's push this over here. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. Oop, it's not moving. There we go. Okay, so same thing for the bullish side, right? When we're having a bullish chalk right here, the way we identify that true pullback and retracement is simply waiting for liquidity to be taken out, that internal liquidity, and then we look for price to give us that pivot zone like this, and now we can start marking the highs and the lows and the true structure for this for the bullish side here, right? We have the lows and the highs, the lows and the highs, the lows, right? And then the highs over here. This is just liquidity in the market, liquidity pool, a trend line liquidity, and then prices retracing fully, right, coming to mitigate our last sell to buy here, right, before markets come and tap this and then push to the upside. Now we consider this is our true structure low, right, and there's true structure high here, right? Price is extending. Now what we're anticipating, again, same thing, right? We're looking for that true pullback, that true retracement, and what we're anticipating is for essentially liquidity to be built again, right? We need that liquidity to be taken out in order for that low or that high to be a true structure and or retracement or pullback in that market, right? So let me just go on the live charts here to show you what that looks like on a live chart example, because I know it's very important for everyone to know and see that in order to get a good glimpse of what we're talking about here. So let's go all the way to the left here and show you guys. Here we go. Okay, a lot of this was just for examples that we're doing. Okay, there we go. So let's go all the way back here. Let's drop this. All right. If the market can cooperate here. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're on the 4 hour here. I want to show you guys this here. So notice how price is extending, retracing, extending, retracing, right? You can see this on the 4 hour easily. So what's happening here essentially is when price is breaking structure like this, you can see here there's a lot of a pool of liquidity, right, sitting here. So on the major time frame, if we go to the daily time frame, actually, you can see that price hasn't actually fully retraced. You can see that price is actually just lingering around this area here, and then now what we need is that full retracement. We need that leg to retrace all the way back in order to call it a true structure or a true retracement in the market. So far, if you're looking on the daily right now on Euro NOK, right, this would not be considered to us as a true pullback or a true retracement. None of these areas are here and or here, okay, because we need that pullback in order for us to show us where that true retracement is. And more importantly, if you're looking at this a little more on the hindsight here, you can also see here we have a high and a low and a high and a low here. So therefore, we did break this current high here, right? And you can see that all the way over here to the left, you see that we have a high and a low, and then another and a high and a low, right? This move here could easily be identified as a full retracement, right? Liquidity taken out of the markets, respecting this structure high right here, right? And then start to push prices to the downside like this, right? Because we do have a full retracement, as you see over here, okay? We had, this is our high, this is our low. Let me delete all this to show you a little bit clearly, maybe, and like this, okay? So when we're looking at this full structure here, notice again, we have that full retracement. We identified this is our high, this is our low, high and our low. You get full retracements. Again, look over here, we have prices going to the downside, right? Internal structure going down, bearish. Prices are just lingering like this and then fully pushing to the downside, right? To a lot of you, you may think, okay, well, this is where my supply is, right? This is where my full supply supply has taken off, right? Now we're looking for price to come here, respect this high, and then push prices to the downside. When in fact, in factuality, this is not how you identify that structure or that the high, right? Or that full retracement. What the market is essentially doing here, as we all know it, I don't know why this is showing here, okay, is what it's showing us over here is that prices have to take out liquidity. And in order for markets to push down, they have to take out some sort of liquidity like here, right? And then push prices to the downside, right? So if it's not a full retracement, right? It's not a full retracement until price has taken that liquidity out, right? And then pushes price to the downside like this. And therefore, now we have, this is our current high, right? And now this is our current low. Price is broken structure. Now we can identify this high here as our true high, and this is our true low, okay? True structure high, true structure low. Now what we're anticipating is for price to push and retrace all the way back like this, taking out some sort of liquidity, right? In order for this high here to be deemed as the next true high, and we're looking for this high here to be respected, and now look for that price to continue to the downside like this. That's the only way we can, that's the way we identify at Royal Blu FX a true high and a true low and a true retracement and a true pullback. So that was the bearish side, right? Let's look at the bullish side here. Okay, let's look at some more examples here. I know I'm on the daily. Maybe if I can do this and show you guys here, maybe we can look on the 4 hour right here. Okay, if you're looking at this here, let's push this a little bit to the left. Okay, notice again right here we have a high broken here. Okay, right here we have that high broken, we have that low, right? So prices have actually broken this high, retraced all the way back, took out some sort of internal liquidity, and then pushed prices to the upside, right? So now we can deem this is our true low and this is our true high, right? This is a full retracement right over here. Okay, prices have now we know that prices should come to this low, right, and then create more liquidity as we see there to push prices to the upside. Right, very easy and very simple. Let me go show you on a lower time frame, say the 4 hour here, so we can see a little more in detail. Okay, right here. Okay, you see that high, you see that low, right? Prices go to the bullish to the upside like this, break structure. Notice what's happening in here. Okay, you can see there's internal liquidity that price is taking out, and then price is mitigating something, right, and pushing prices to the upside. All right, this is a true full retracement. Okay, prices break another high right here, right, and now notice all this internal liquidity. Okay, this is a full retracement that we're looking for. All right, we're not looking at this is our entry or this is our entry at this point. We need that full functional retracement in order for price to push to the upside. All right, price has to take out liquidity in order for it to be true, to be called and deemed a true retracement and or structure in the market. Right, prices mitigate again here, as you can see, after taking out this double bottom liquidity and then pushing price to the upside. All right, prices breaks again a new high, a new high right there. All right, now we know that this is our true low because it mitigated something and it took out liquidity. All right, price pushed to the upside. Notice again we have here all this liquidity right here sitting up there. Okay, so price has to mitigate something, take out the liquidity like here, right here. Okay, and you can see it here as well. You can also see it here as well. Price takes out all this liquidity. Now we have to deem this as our true low, our true pullback, right? And our true structural low. And then now we're looking for price to continue to the upside, and it does so. Right? You can see this all the time. Now, obviously you don't want to be confused and thinking, well, what's the true pullback? What's the true retracement? Because things like this can obviously sort of confuse you as well, right? When price is pushing up like this, and you're seeing a low here and a high here, and you're like, okay, well, is this my buy? You know, I don't know, right? Well, you got to ask yourself, what did the market do? Did it take out any liquidity, right? In order for it to take out liquidity, in order for it to be a true pullback, retracement, or a structure low or a structure high, price has to do something, has to take out liquidity. So far, there's no liquid, and there's small internal liquidity here if you go on like the lower time frames. But if we're looking at the 4 hours or major time frame structure, then price hasn't really done anything, right? It actually created liquidity here, as you can see. Okay, so as price created more liquidity here for a big move to potentially come down here to take prices up to the upside, that's what we're going to be deeming it as, and that's what we'd be waiting for price to come down here eventually to the low, to the downside, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't adapt ourselves to the new structure that market is showing us, right? You can see here prices are breaking a new high, right? But now what we're looking for truly is price creating structure, price creating liquidity, right? When prices are retracing, we're looking for that full retracement to the downside. We can see that this isn't our true low just yet. Okay, what we're trying to identify is liquidity that markets can show us before we look to take any trades in the market. So far, the market hasn't really truly taken any liquidity. You can see that we have this trend line structural liquidity right over here, right? It hasn't really taken anything, right? So far, we're seeing that structure is changing, though, as you see it right there. So this could be a a chalk. This is a chalk actually, that's taking the markets to a different direction. Oops, where did that go? Excuse me. Right there, and we can just give that a 10% right there. Okay, right there. So we know we have a structure changing, right? Why? Because look to the opposite side, right? Look what's happening here. Prices are taking liquidity, right? And we had the structure break, this low here break, and structure was retracing all the way backwards, creating liquidity, and here's your sell, right? So we know that that's where our sell is from this high here to this low, right? So, but we notice on this side, liquidity hasn't been taken, therefore we can't call this our true low here yet, right? We still have liquidity being built that needs to be taken by the markets. So let's go here, right there, right, and right there, right there. Okay, so if we play this right, notice what's happening. Price is going all the way down, and it's going for one thing only, right? It's going after liquidity, because in order for the markets to move, we need that liquidity to be taken out, right? Notice what happened. See, now price is responding to this low that we were talking about, that we were discussing just a bit earlier ago, right? Where price just did its job. We just took out that liquidity, right? Notice how I didn't mark this area here as our low, even though a lot of people may be identifying this as a low because of that impulse to the upside. Okay, this impulse here is reacting as demand, which is true to its own nature. This is true demand, right? But what we really are looking for is for that structure to form correctly, that retracement to form correctly, in order for us to deem that low or high as a true structure in the markets. Okay, so let's continue from here. Okay, and whether this respects it or not is out of the question, right? What we're trying to do is follow our rules and our structure, our rules and our structure, essentially, right? So you can see how price left some sort of imbalance, sorry, not imbalance, some inducement there, right? Price came then and created more liquidity right here. It created this internal liquidity, took out all this internal liquidity, and looks like the price is pushing to the downside from here, right? It's not really respecting anything. Okay, there we go. So we just had this low broken right there, right? This low was broken, right? And notice when prices are retracing, what is it doing? It created liquidity, right? Price is pulling to the upside. Here's our next high, okay? Here's our high, right? Here's our low. And theoretically, prices should push down to the downside like this. You see? There we go, right? So here's our high from here. Let's see, from this low to this high right there, right there. And the only reason why price pushed down is because price took out something, took out liquidity, right? So that we knew this was our true high, we knew this was our true low. We saw beautiful liquidity, internal liquidity like this. Price tapped, mitigated, and took off. Okay, so just go ahead and do this, and always ask yourself, when price is retracing, what is a true retracement? A true retracement for us, essentially, is just when price is creating liquidity. A true structure low and structure high is when prices are building liquidity inside those internal liquidity inside those lows and highs. Okay, so I hope you guys kind of understood what I was talking about here, because I know a lot of you all struggle to find your highs and your lows, because it can get very tricky in the markets, right? Look at this here, for example, right here. Here's an area where price extended, retraced, extended, and retraced, right? And you're thinking to yourself, well, is this a true high and is it a true low, right? This is not a true high or a true low at all, right? Right over here, because price didn't really do anything here. In fact, price took out tiny, small amount of liquidity here, but it's not our true pullback, true liquidity, true structure, high and true low, because it didn't really do anything. If we were looking for it, if price was retracing like this, coming like this, now we can see a bunch of liquidity. We can say that this is our high, this is our true low, based off of this liquidity, okay? And you can see here we had a true break of structure, right? So if you can see the whole picture, this is what it looks like, right? But that's not what price did for us, right? So apparently price has some sort of big plans, you know, for this big move here. If we zoom out here, okay, You can see that when price broke this here, now we're looking to we're anticipating for price to pull back like this, right? Creating big, ultra big liquidity like this for the major structure like this. All this will need to be taken out eventually like this. Price will pull back like this, mitigate something, and then continue after taking that liquidity. So we would call this as our major high and our major low, right? That's how we're looking at structure essentially. Okay, so I hope you guys understood what I was talking about in this video. If you guys have any questions, please do refer to them and write me and let me know what you guys are thinking. If you have any more questions in terms of true pullback in a structure and retracement in the market. Until then, guys, I will see you guys in the next video.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up.